afternoon. It's Lynda Cromar. I'm coming back to you from Colorado, and the reason why I'm sharing this particular picture is because I wanted to talk about how important it is to present to people in the right way. And of course my title was how not to present to people, basically. Is pitching and what isn't. I think a lot of people are confused about that. So hello everybody, thanks for joining, and thanks so much for the hearts. I so much appreciate it. And did you know that you can do as many hearts as you want? They're free, and Periscope actually limits it to 500 per person unless you jump out and jump back in. Did you know that? A little quick tip there. If you are doing Periscopes, you want to tell people that, because we got lots of new people joining all the time. I had a lot of pitches this week from people, and I thought it would be a really good idea to share with you some ideas on what is actually a pitch and what is not. A pitch generally is something that people don't like to get because they probably did not ask for it. And thanks so much for joining, and thanks so much for sharing. Yes, all of the new people, thanks very much for coming. So what is a pitch? Do you guys have an idea? Let me get some responses from the house. What do you think is a pitch? What do you think is not pleasant to receive? And what do you not mind receiving from people that are asking you about, looking at their business in particular? So let's hear what you think, and then let's go for that. No, we're not talking about baseball. We're talking about business. So absolutely. Okay, we're not talking about sexy either. What is a pitch and what is not? And what do you find important to receive, and what do you not like to receive? I have some ideas, but I want to see what you guys think. So I'm giving you a chance to respond with appropriate things, not things that are not about what we're talking about. So how are y'all doing? Where are you calling from? Where are you in the world? And also, what do you think is a pitch? What do you think is a pitch in the way of a business pitch? Not in the way of a baseball pitch. Somebody said that, and that's not what we're talking about. So, yes, like a sales pitch. Yes, absolutely. What do you think? When somebody pitches to you about their business, oh yeah, absolutely. Throw out ideas. That's good. So let me give you some ideas. All of you are involved in some kind of a business, probably network marketing the majority of. So somebody just made friends with you. You don't know anything about them yet. This is on social media, by the way, generally. Okay, I don't recognize what you said because that is in a foreign tongue. First impressions, yeah. It's definitely something that can actually change your impression about that person. Absolutely. Anyway, so let me give you what I have here, and then you can add some comments to it. So a pitch is sometimes when somebody shares their business with you, usually in a chat message, or it could be also on a comment on something that you posted in Facebook or Twitter or anywhere on the social medias. And a lot of the time it's not appropriate because you haven't had the appropriate time with that person. You don't know anything about them, right? So that's what a pitch generally is. It does not matter whether it has a link or does not have a link. A lot of people think it's not a pitch if it doesn't have a link. Well, that's not true. Anytime directing you to their opportunity, yeah, absolutely, Mike. I didn't catch all of that before it faded off, but yes, absolutely. So a pitch is with a good, you want to absolutely realize that if you're pitching to people, if you're doing it yourself, if you're pitching to people you haven't built a relationship with, you're going to have a very high rejection rate. And most people don't enjoy getting rejected. So let's help you have a better response. And the way you can do that is to start talking to people, actually honestly saying hi, and actually talking to them about things they're interested in. For instance, go over to their profile and look at them. Find out what they're interested in. You can tell immediately just by looking at what they're posting on their own profile. And that is a good conversational starter. For instance, are they posting about their children, or are they posting about their animals that they have, a dog or a cat? If they are, then that is a good conversational starter. So that's much better than saying, here's my business, come look at it. So is it a pitch when it doesn't have a link? And I say, yes, it is. It is still a pitch. Like, for instance, I had this guy, I have to get it because it was so funny. This is kind of what prompted it. But he said, would you like to have a 3-way call with my leader that is going to help me, that's going to help everybody build their business? Now, I don't know about you, but definitely I am not interested in being ambushed into a 3-way call when I don't know that person. What do you think? If I know that person and I'm trying to help them and they're part of my team, absolutely, I would have a call with them. But I don't want to do that with somebody I don't know. I don't know about you, but that makes me very uncomfortable. And so, yeah, that was a pitch. Would you like to have a 3-way call with my leader? There is a pitch. Okay. And it can be with a link or without a link. Now, most people think about the pitch as being, great big diatribes about, their great result they had with something and they want you to look at it. But it doesn't have to be. It can be something real short. I just started this opportunity. I'd like you to take a look at it. That's still a pitch, even though it's short. Okay? Starting a question, starting your conversation with a question. This has been I've been seeing it a lot right from the groups. Yeah, people like to buy, but they don't like to be sold. Absolutely, Mike, that's so true. And, how do you react when you walk into a store? And I know. How do you react when you walk over to when you drive up into a car dealership, and the first thing they do is they say, what can I show you? Aren't you kind of, I'm not ready to buy yet. I want to look a little bit, right? Same thing happens with business. We're not really ready to be pushed into looking. And I get asked to look at least 10 people's businesses a day. Now, let me ask you something. If I was doing that, if I was looking at everybody's business, even to be polite, that would take all my day. That would take all of my day, and I wouldn't get anything else done. So, I just have to be a little bit stinky about it and say, no, I'm not interested. Okay, here's a question I bet a lot of you hear, and it makes you think you have to look, but you don't have to. And I say, are you open to? Here's a question. Are you open to blah, blah, blah? Absolutely. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Thank you. Go ahead and give me hearts to tell me how much you appreciate it. That helps me too, and it makes me feel really good. Okay, so absolutely, when they say, are you open to, they're saying, they're trying to make you feel kind of, I don't want to say I'm not open, but I don't really want to look. So give yourself the okay to say, no, I'm absolutely not open because I'm not looking. So when you say it that way, say, I'm, just not looking. I'm in a good place. I've got what I want. That's a better way to handle it than to say, oh, I guess I have to go look because I don't want to say I'm not open. And I've used that line myself. And when I do, generally speaking, the people that I use that on don't really feel open, if you know what I mean. They feel pushed. And the major thing you don't want to do is make people feel pushed. You want to make them feel like it's an invite. You know what we do in our Simple Freedom, which is really cool, is we invite them to training, which is real, absolute, high-value training. And then when we invite them to that, then yeah, they get a pitch in there, but it's absolutely so cool the way Franco does it that nobody feels pushed. And a lot of the time I get sales that way. So if you've got a leader that's doing any kind of training that's it's generic, it's just really good training about something that they might be interested in, that's a good way to bring people to your business without having to feel pushed into it. Because they need to feel comfortable with you and develop a certain amount of trust before they're going to be willing to look at it, regardless of who they are. And people are a lot more cagey about that than they used to be. And here is something that I don't see a lot of people doing, but it's so very important, and that is take the time to find out about them. Take the time to go over to their profile and see if they're even somebody you really do want to spend time with. Because after all, what I figure when I'm inviting somebody to look at my business, actually when they join is the first day of a good process of my helping them. It's not the end, it's the beginning in my opinion. So obviously you want to make sure it's a person you actually do want to spend time with. You actually do want to help them out. You actually do like them. I don't mean you know a lot about them, that you like everything about them, but you definitely don't want somebody that's real negative and, you know, puts a lot of or derogatory things on their wall or sexual things all over their walls. You know, I've actually blocked people that were even in my team that were doing things like that because I didn't find it very enjoyable to look at what they were posting, and they didn't take coaching very well when I suggested that wasn't very helpful. So there you are. There's the points. Yes, it is a pitch, even if it's a question. Yeah, they can. Doggone it. You're right, Mike. They can be watching our training for quite a while. In fact, I had somebody join me this week that said he's been lurking and watching for over a month or so, just watching, coming to our training, watching what I post, and made a decision based on that. And yes, you can absolutely put your information about your business without going overboard on your profiles so that they can find out what you do offer, but you do it in a way that doesn't feel pitchy. And we try to do it with good value. Generally, we share good information that will help anybody regardless of whether they join us or not. In other words, the Tuesday night training, which is always available, is actual internet marketing training that anybody can use no matter what they're selling, no matter what they're involved with. And so that's my value for you today. Yes, it is indeed a pitch, even if it doesn't have a link. So definitely spend the time to help people get to know you better. And I promise you, you're going to have a higher result of them joining you when they feel valued. And that's the very most important thing. They need to feel valued and they need to trust you. And when they can do that, then they're going to join you. I hope that's been helpful. Please share this with your other people that are part of your team, because I know it can help them too. And I try to bring you something that can be helpful to you regardless of whether you find that helpful to join me personally. Yeah, he makes it no-brainer. Absolutely, Michael. Of course, I'm speaking to the choir when I'm talking to you because I know that you love it too. But absolutely, if you want to find out about the latest training that is for free and is internet training, helping you to build on the internet more wisely, that is at lindassimplefreedom.com. So you guys have an awesome, awesome day, and we'll be talking tomorrow.